Now, when it comes to DSLR video, for the most part, you're going to be living and dying in manual focus. The camera does not know what's important to your story, and you need to be able to control that. As a result, you're going to need some sort of system to pull focus and get your hands off the lens. Well, I just got my hands on a Cinevate focus ring and lever as a solution for this. Let's take a look at it. Now, this particular Cinevate focus system runs just over $100, and for the money, it's a very nice build. There's no plastic in this thing. It's all metal and composite materials. Now, first and foremost, you'll see we have a focus ring. Obviously, you would put this on your lens, and this would help you pull focus. The next thing I got here are these steel screws, and these are what they call spokes. And these go into your focus ring and attach to your lens all the way around. Now, they come in a variety of lengths for different lenses, and they also have nylon tips as to not scratch your lens and to keep a nice tight grip on it. They've also included an Allen wrench, just like IKEA, to help you to screw in those spokes into your focus ring. And lastly, you've got the metal lever that attaches to your focus ring to help you pull focus. Now that we've got all the parts, let's put this thing together and see what it looks like. Now, as you can see, for comparison, I've left my plastic focus ring on my lens right now. I utilize this with my Red Rock follow focus system, and one tweak I've made to it, I have one of these releasable zip ties that you can undo to easily take this off of the lens and put it on another one nice and quick. Really nice tip there. Learned it from a great DP named Matthew Jaffe. Shout out to him for that. So, the first thing we need to really figure out is what spokes do we need to attach this ring onto our lens. Now, on the Cinevate website, they have a chart on there, and they will recommend certain length spokes for you depending on what the circumference is of your lens. So check that out. I looked online and I found that the smallest one, this 3/8 of an inch, is probably best suited for my 24-70. So I'm going to give that a shot. I'm going to actually put these in by hand for now and get this all set up. Now, I've played with this a little bit before making the video, and I actually had one of these nylon tips pop off, and I thought, oh my goodness, all is lost. Not to worry, it actually pops right back in the end and stays there, so that wasn't a big deal. But it did happen. Something to be aware of. A little thing like that, getting lost, could ruin your day, so just be aware of that. Now, I'm only putting 5 of the 6 spokes in this ring because the lever actually takes the place of one of these spokes. Now, let's see what we got here. All right. Now that I've got that on here, I've got to go around here and screw these in a little bit tighter so it holds on to it. You're not supposed to screw these in terribly too tight, but just enough so it holds on to it. So let me get around here. Now, one thing I should point out when you're installing your spokes is make sure that you're screwing them in the same amount all the way around your ring. That'll ensure that it turns evenly. Now, it might not be super important when you're just utilizing a focus lever on it, but when you incorporate this ring with a follow focus system, that's going to be much more important because you don't want to lose grip with your other gears. All right, now I've got all my spokes screwed into my ring, and they're all screwed in about the same amount, so it turns pretty evenly from what I can tell. So last but not least, we've got to actually get the lever on here. Lever? 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 I'm going to say lever. So again, I only installed 5 out of the 6 spokes on this ring because this thing actually attaches into one of the holes where the spokes go. So here we go. Screw that right into there. Really nice, really easy, and there you have it. Simple as that, and you're off to the races. Wow, that really feels nice. That's a solid, solid feel. The one thing that's cool about this particular focus ring is that it can turn more than 360 degrees. Now, if you remember from my plastic focus ring, I actually had a zip tie closing the end of the ring. It usually comes with a screw that you have to actually close to keep that thing tight on the lens. Where that becomes a problem is when you turn your follow focus system more than 360 degrees, it can sometimes hit the gears. Well, you won't have that problem with this ring. Now, it might not show up as much when you're using the lever, but with a follow focus system, this type of setup is really going to shine. So there you have it. Pretty easy. Keep in mind, not only could you put this on your focus, but you could also put this on your zoom. If you wanted a quick and controlled zoom, you could easily put this on there as well, and it would be just as effective. But now that we got this thing on here, let's put it to the test. And to help us test it out, I got Jared Poland from Fro Knows Photo. So let's get him in here and try this thing out. All right, here we go, and there he is. Now, obviously, I don't have Mr. Fro here in the flesh. I've got his bobblehead here to assist me in testing out this focus system. What do you think there, Mr. Fro?
Let's unbox it and give it a snippy sniff.
Well, I'm not going to sniff it, but I am going to use the bobblehead here as a foreground element, and I've got a clock on the wall as a background element, and I'm going to pull back and forth between the two, utilizing the Cinevate focus lever. Here we go. There we go, nice and slow. Bam. One more time, back to the clock. Nice. And up to the Fro, very nice. Let's try it a little faster. See if I can hit my marks. Boom. Boom. Kabam. Nice. It feels really nice in your hands. That solid construction, that metal and composite material really kind of shines here. You can feel it. It's really gripping the lens. You feel like you're one with the lens. And again, you can readjust here. Say I want to pull from this side, I can do that as well. Just tweak the lens a little bit. Boom. Bam. Kabam. So that feels really nice. It definitely does the job. So I'm going to get Mr. Fro out of here, and I will come back with some final thoughts about the Cinevate focus lever and focus ring. So what do I think about the Cinevate focus ring and lever? Well, I think the first thing we need to talk about is its price and its build. It is well made, and the price reflects that. It's over $100 for the setup I have here, but it's a solid piece of gear, and it will last you a long time. And it's something you could even add to it. You could add extra rings, and you could add the follow focus system, and it's gonna grow with you and not fall apart. Now, if you're just getting started and you're on a budget, there are less expensive alternatives out there, but they are usually a lesser quality build. It's something to consider whenever choosing a less expensive alternative. Are you going to have to replace it sooner than later because it just falls apart? Something to keep in mind. Now, the next thing I want to point out is the time it takes to install the ring and what that means for a lens change. Now, if you're going to utilize this system on one lens for your entire shoot, have at it. It's a great system, and say no more. But if you're swapping lenses, it's not a quick fix. You're going to have to adjust and maybe even change the spokes in this ring with every lens change. And if you're on a tight schedule, that may not be the best thing. So either make time for that or purchase multiple rings for multiple lenses. Overall, I'd say this is one of the best made focus systems on the market, and I'm sure it's even better when it's paired with its follow focus system. That's where the ring's ability to turn more than 360 degrees is really going to shine. So let me end with this. Focus is a storytelling tool, and the best thing you can do is get your hand off the lens and use some sort of assist. Now, whether or not this is in your budget now or later, I think you should definitely take a look at what Cinevate has to offer. So if you want to see more reviews and tips about DSLR video and editing, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see a more in-depth look at DSLR video and all its components, check out the Fro Knows Photo Guide to DSLR video. Talk to you soon.